ships them piled up for manufacture.
Well,
ready?
it's 9 o'clock. We're going to stand and sing the Pledge of Allegiance. There's a flag outside this window.
Just imagine that you can see through
You
it.
can't see it. Step this way, you'll be able to see it. All right, I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll consider for approval of minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the agenda.
I'll second.
A motion by Jensel and seconded by Derby to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
9 a.m. Consider for approval the use of courthouse grounds.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are aware Black Friday's coming through Forest City on July 22nd. So they'll start trickling in anywhere from like the vendors 7 a.m. to like start setting up until 6 p.m. is their curfew to get into Forest City. They'll stay overnight to the 23rd and then be out of here by 10 a.m. at the latest, I think, onto their next overnight town. So we have been in tons of meetings, but they recommended our downtown courthouse square and Clark Street to be our main expo. They think it's centrally located for all the campsites that we have right now. And so our stage will be kind of kitty corner on the corner of, what street is it?
This is but if you allow.
Yeah, if you allow.
Yeah, on the corner right by your parking lot here. They had suggested doing it kind of at an angle towards the courthouse and then utilizing the parking lot and that street out there for the beer garden and, blocking things off and things like that.
Yep.
And then obviously your yard too.
Yes, they love the courthouse lawn and the area where people can kind of just lounge and there's shade for these bikers that have been biking all day long in the heat. So
I did bring a map, but I
Yes.
will tell you that this has pivoted like a dozen times.
It
So
really has.
we're just adapting every time they tell us. But so this is where we're at right now. And they suggest doing the stage kind of kitty corner here from I. And then, so what we would like to do, and we still have to get city permission, but the city crew's all involved, so it shouldn't be an issue, is we're going to probably put vendors through here, and then we'll have it blocked down from here up. So we'd like to use this area for the loud entertainment and beer garden. We will throughout the day and into a little bit in the evening. We're going to probably put a DJ through around right here just to get everybody kind of down in this area during the day until the louder music starts at night. But that all depends on if you guys. I know I had visited with Terry, right? And you guys had discussed at least maybe having courthouse open half a day.
No, I said last time we used.
Last time you did half a day. So I guess there's several questions in this. Will the courthouse be open half a day, all day? And if so...
What day is it?
It's Tuesday the
It's
22nd.
a Tuesday.
So, and then just to kind of give you, and again, please realize this could be changed because it has been changed so many different times. So ultimately, what Keith... State Trooper Dino and Andrew Faber and Montgomery have gone through, hi Billy, and they think that since the route's been announced it's going to come, we'll go up by the elementary school, and then at Waldorf and Bowman we'll actually go to G instead of going to J, and then we'll come up G and just go straight down G to 4th, and then allow them to go out to the rally grounds that
Past the
direction.
Hanson.
So Hanson's daycare and stuff. Yeah. And we realize that leaves this corner of town, a little bit blocked in, but they've assured us that they can have police officers there and do like one lane and that kind of stuff or whatever we have to do. So we'll make that work for our other part of the city, of course. And then L Street, which is, middle school past the post office, that will be open. And then all the way north from there will be open if everything works the way we've been working out. So I think.
Yeah.
that, I mean, have you guys discussed or thought about if you were gonna have?
We haven't
Day
officially
off
at this
day.
meeting.
Okay,
We really haven't.
I don't know.
So there's concerns about doing normal business.
Yeah, like Terry said last time, we closed at noon so that people could go volunteer and help out in the city and,
And the courthouse itself was locked.
yes.
Yeah, and you've got porta potties all over the place, I'm
Yes.
sure.
And we need to probably coordinate that with the court system.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I checked, and it's not a district court date for us,
The 22nd
You
is
know.
not?
barring jury trial or something coming up. I
So
don't
I'm just wondering if the clerk of court would be closed then, and if somebody'd have to get in for that, make a payment or whatever. They're a separate entity, so.
Yeah, they're state, so.
I suppose before we can officially close it, then we'll have to get their blessing on it, or?
What,
Well, it'd be on the agenda for a separate day, but
yeah. I guess I feel like it's in the best interest of everybody if we close at noon, like we did last time.
I can talk to Lori.
See what their schedule is and.
Yep.
We'd love to use your bathrooms if you wanted to stay.
Nope, not happening.
Sorry.
Do that.
The Kevin that we've got now, than the Kevin we had the last time it happened, would probably be a little more forgiving of it, but I'm still willing to that he wouldn't want to clean up that mess.
Nope.
I don't know if you've ever been around drunk men before.
Not really.
Their aim is really bad.
Oh. Kinda like my kids then.
But that, well, yeah. But they have a better excuse.
So there were concerns the last time about a lot of debris on the courthouse, and so that's been addressed, or?
Well, yeah, last time
Yes.
it was more like, it'd be like Wednesday morning type thing where.
Yes, so,
all
the Rack Ride this time around is under new management. They have a phenomenal team, they're experts, and we are meeting with them bi-weekly or bi-monthly. And, they've recommended like the Disneyland model for trash cans and, like every, 10 feet?
Yep.
So we're already on it, we have barrels coming from Heinz, Kraft
Mhm.
Heinz,
Yep.
and
And they said the difference between what we would have, had 14 years ago and today is just crazy difference. I mean, he said the drinking is way down comparatively. They're just partying. He said, honestly, you want to be careful of your locals that know they can just go home and they're going to stay up all night and drink. He said, because our people have to ride the next day and just rode 100 miles up that day. So if we continually put out as many barrels and as many garbages and as many, porta potties and make sure.
And then we're gonna have also a volunteer team
Mhm.
specifically for cleanup the next morning,
Yep.
garbage duty the day of, replacing those, plastic liners,
Yep.
getting them in the right
Ultimately, I
place.
think we
We've
would
got-
have everything done by 11 is our goal on Wednesday. So everything can open back up, all streets back up, which they would be anyways,
Yeah,
but cleaned up and, swept and everything else, so.
and then we've
That's
got,
kind of the concern for us to do normal business on Wednesday morning with our parking lot and,
Yep.
all of this parking.
yeah,
So, one nice thing is, as of right now, I am planning on just putting, the vendors on that would be the east and the south streets, so that they would face and not have any around the courthouse parking like here and there. So that, and then the only things that we would have to consider back here would be, everything we'd tear down the night of, which would be like our, tables and tents and stuff, if there's anything from the beer gardens, as well as, possibly a ice semi and the stage, which the stage has to fold up. It's just like a transformer and just folds up and goes to the next town. So they're telling us our stage could be as early as 7 a.m. I'm gonna guess they're gonna tear it down that night and get it out of here quicker than you'll need it to. I can't make guarantees on that right now. I guess we can double check and see with the stage company that we're hiring and everything and make sure you know, if we can get some exact hours, but,
So that shows up on Tuesday morning then?
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I think from memory, the last time it was just sheer lack of dumpsters, even more.
Mhm.
There was just copious amounts of trash trying to get to where it needed to go, but
Mhm.
they were overflowing full, so if you have.
If I remember right, I think we were even shorted on porta potties.
Yeah.
It was tempted to get them, but they were all taken up by other
I
facilities.
think there wasn't as much direction in 2014. I think that we have a lot of direction now, and
Yeah.
I think we're going to be very prepared. We have Andrew Faber from the city on board. He's on our team. Troy Thompson's kind of leading up the green group, which is like camping, housing, sanitation, showers. So Troy's he's already been working with the city on that. And
We had a good discussion with Troy too,
oh, good.
at the legislative forum
Okay.
afterwards.
Mhm. Good. So, is there other things we need to get you, info you need to know ahead of time? Is there?
I know that Steve had concerns about the lack of law enforcement around, weren't you saying?
Well,
talking
no,
about some
no,
of that, or-
mine was more the route, and now that we found out that the route is not really
Not
coming
ours.
through, it's coming through the bulk of it, Hancock County, that's gonna just relieve our guys from, you know, free them up to be kind of floating, I guess, and helping where they can, and but tending to the citizens of Winnebago County. So.
Got one question. Is there a back entrance to these apartments from the alley?
Yes, that alley will stay
Because
open.
It's a daily process for ambulance calls there.
No. Yep, that's what, why can't I think of the man's name?
Joe?
Joe has
Oh,
been
Joe.
at several meetings and he said the amount of times they go, they could just park one back there, so that'll definitely be open, and law enforcement has been like made aware that area, and then some of the other things that we're working on hopefully is like the behind Wilson Dental, is to try and leave that for the permit parking for town, just because I know that they're not probably going to be parking there or over by, across from Athletico. They're probably not, if they do park there, they won't be able to get out of there. So we'll try and leave some parking spots for that and things too. And if we have to leave an area, that you guys need your parking lot or don't want us to use the parking lot, we can just pivot. But
Yeah.
but this is our ultimate choice.
So where would the volunteers that come up and work the core area, where would they park?
We still need to visit with the Emmanuel and Methodist Church because since if everything works, I keep telling everybody like this is not set in stone because it's changed so many times, but if everything works out, we'll probably have the bike path on G there. So they can hopefully come up on 4th and be able to park in like the Methodist parking. And then we can also see about putting bike parking there so that we don't have bikes in our expo area too as possible. So I know that both churches have plans to do things, but I don't believe that at this point, I haven't heard from anybody that they're using the parking lots. So we're kind of starting to know your guys' decision before we go any further. If we need to.
But I don't remember.
Yeah, because we can definitely, they've got two, so if they need to.
People are gonna, well, hey, I'm just gonna go there. And,
I know. I know.
People are gonna have to put up some temporary blockage or something.
We've got,
Or something, and
yeah.
just man it, say, this is public health parking, veterans and whatnot. So-
Like
Yeah.
Conceivably, if I came in from the north, you could come right up C-Core and then find a spot from there.
Yep, absolutely, yep. C-Core to L, that will all be open, and then 4th Street to G, but we will have somebody manning that as well, because obviously, like you said, people are just gonna kind of go, but hopefully by then though, because of where, like the main campground as of right now, it looks like it's gonna be the elementary school. So we'll lose, riders at the elementary to set up and shower, and then there's the Waldorf lot and over by the third gate 3 ball diamonds. So along the route through town, we'll lose good chunks of people as well because they're gonna have upwards of at least 1,500 parked out at the rally grounds that are RVers. So that's why they're not counting that as the main campground, because they'll put, 10,000 over in other areas, so.
And you're gonna be having, transit or shuttles.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll have a transportation
Yep.
shuttle system going.
Yep.
So do they have like portable showers and stuff that they bring with for these people, or do they open up like the locker rooms at the school, or
Both.
they're gonna do that
Yeah.
too?
Yep.
Yeah, charters usually have showers for their people,
Mhm.
and then we'll have to open up what we have as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we've been working with the schools in Waldorf and, other places that offer showers,
Mhm.
so, and they can charge for those. So it's like a little bit
Oh,
of,
yeah, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah, it would be a large fundraiser if anybody wanted to rent a shower house or whatever, but they're pretty spendy to rent too, so it's all depending.
Is there a 5 o'clock meeting today?
Yes.
That's
Yep.
our town hall.
There's nothing at noon, right?
There is a noon meeting.
I have
Yes.
noon on my schedule, so.
Yep, there is a
Where's noon?
noon. It's like for information center, volunteers,
Transportation.
transportation.
Where's that? Is it the
It's
one?
at Bowman.
Oh, Bowman, okay.
So, and then town hall at 5.
But yes, town hall tonight is 5 till 6 is gonna be a public town hall meeting at the Bowman Fine Arts Center. And then from 6 to 7, we'll also do a business meeting and visit with, we have taken the initiative already and walked, up and down all the streets that we could, visited all the shop owners and business owners and landlords and everything else that we could think of, at least to get them to the meeting and if they have any other questions and stuff, because, I mean, it's in our, our mission statement says that local first, like we're,
We want to support local
Right.
organizations and businesses.
so, but they also said, oh, you guys need about 250 volunteers, and we're like, okay, we can find that, we'll find that.
My main concern, I believe, for having it close to the courthouse and is really just simply security.
Yeah.
That's,
Like they've expressed, and, and any big events we've had, it's usually some of your local talent that kind of end up showing off. And like they said, the Ragbri people are kind of aging, so where they used to pound a 12-pack, now they might have 3 craft beers. And
Would you be more comfortable if we found some sort of like, what do they call those, snow fences or whatever, and put it around maybe anything that would...
it's just that we have flat roofs out here where the condensers are and and there's ladders and, just
Wow.
that
And
kind of.
maybe
get
one
rid of
day,
that.
that might be one day you wanna take that ladder out of there. That's it right there.
I'm
sure you think you can climb on the bill.
You never know.
Yeah, I do.
just childproof it as best you can.
Yes.
Also, back in 2014, I think Keith is also part of the Ragbri cop crew. Is that what you would call them? Hey, cop crew?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I call
So
this...
they had a team of 4 back in 2014. Now they're a team of 10. And they all know these riders. And so Keith and his 10 of them will be there at our main expo all evening. So that's a ton of security. Tom Montgomery is going to be there as well. I'm not sure about
Sure.
him, but
They'll have their reserves
they'll have
on.
their reserves out.
Yeah, so it'll take care of itself, and I think, on the whole, they're just there to have fun. And when the entertainment is done, they go to bed.
You guys have any other questions for him?
No, I think my questions have been answered so far. I reserve the right to ask more questions later.
Absolutely,
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So what is the process now then? What happens? I mean,
I'll make a motion to allow for the use of the courthouse grounds. We have the paperwork for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just our standard form. Yeah.
I'll second it.
Well, I'm starting to worry.
Yeah, no.
Any other discussion? All right, we have a motion by Derby and a second by Jensvold to approve the use of courthouse ground. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. So they exit down Airport Blacktop? Or where?
I didn't look.
Last time they went down River Road and it was, I don't know if there was some
Oh, yes, okay, I'm sorry, yes, so they'll go down the airport to Ventura Road and then
Straight south.
yes.
Yeah.
through
Sorry.
Thornton and
We also need to
Yeah.
move along.
Okay, so I guess we have we're past our 9:10, guys, thanks for the
Yeah,
information.
absolutely, thank
It's
you.
okay. That Mary Lou Cleveland, Veterans Affairs, to discuss with possible action.
Yeah, good luck.
Hi, thank you.
Thank
Want this, Julie?
No, that's fine.
That's yours?
I'll make her a copy. and
Okay,
send it to you.
thank you.
thanks.
Yeah.
See you, Gene.
See you guys tonight, I hope. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Mary Lou.
Hi, Susan. Good morning,
Thank you.
everybody. All right.
Sorry, we're running late.
Oh, no problem. Just wanted to give you a brief report on the first quarter of my office, Veterans Affairs. Just the numbers, they're very consistent from this time last year, pretty much staying, if you divide everything out. I have been able to do a pretty large number of claims, submitting claims this quarter. 17 is a lot, averages at about 6 a month. So that's been really good. That's been a combination of just people coming in and being really motivated to get their claims done, the ones that haven't been as motivated, calling a month before, panicking, and then us moving really quickly to get their claims submitted. So we've been doing that. The local financial assistance has been consistently way higher than before I've been here, probably 24 and so far this year. And that just reflects the economy. I think people just struggling to make ends meet. One really important thing, number 2, is that our Iowa County, or excuse me, Iowa Association of County Veteran Services has begun to offer monthly free training, and it has just been really valuable because they've focused on different topics, and we just do it virtually online for an hour and a half a month, and it's been just really, really good. I also was able to attend a national online training in March, and anything that's national or that we can get CEUs for can be used for that $3,000 national training grant that we have. So I've been doing that, and we'll pretty much continue with that throughout the year. It's only $57 a month to do it, and coming from a national level, you get a different viewpoint than you do if it's just a state person. So the other big thing was that Melissa McAllis and I went to Rake and presented to their city council the Home Base Iowa program, and we only have Rake and Thompson left to get on board with Home Base Iowa. So I'm really excited that we've almost got the whole community, various communities on board with that. I met again with a caseworker and the VA rep for Representative Feenster's office. He also went to Wright, Kossuth, and Hancock. He just heard the same things from all of us. That our frustration levels continue to be really great. 2024 was by far the most challenging year. I've been here just with a lot of issues. I think I have like 12 appeals pending, which I don't think I've ever had that many. And things are moving very, very slowly. So that's been really, really hard, especially with pensions. You get 90-year-olds and there's tons of delays. It's very concerning. So in October, we were told at our training that they were going to make a change in the tinnitus and hearing loss ratings, and they were going to make tinnitus only rateable if it was connected to a hearing loss. So we kind of moved ahead, and we did KIOW ads about that for January, February, and March. True to the VA, we have heard nothing since October. So there obviously probably won't be a change in April. However, I'm really glad that we did the ads because it brought new veterans into the office, and they will be able to be grandfathered in. And we've done a bunch of hearing loss and tinnitus claims, so that's been really good. Plus, they've come in and I've been able to say, hey, you got anything else going on? And we've added other things to their claims. So the numbers at the end of February of 2025 coming into Winnebago County was $357,214, and that was from pension and compensation. And compared to February of 2024, it was an increase of over $75,000. So really grateful for that compensation coming to those veterans. The claims I've gotten so far, this quarter in April, that have been successfully, compensated, they've been really, really high. So that's a win for the county, but it's a bigger win for the veterans. I'm seeing a lot of Vietnam veterans come in with a lot of issues because of their military service. So we're going after those claims pretty hard and then getting them the ratings that they probably have deserved for 20 plus years, but they're finally in and getting them done. So is there any questions I can answer? Or?
I just have a comment. You have the perfect personality for this.
Oh, thank you.
That's good.
I appreciate that. I really love my veterans. It's a joy. I had a gentleman that I was able to call and tell him he was 100%. I mean, obviously, being 100%, he's got, I think we claimed 11 different things. He ended up getting a back pay of $50,000.
Wow.
And another gentleman got a $53,000 back pay. Which
That's life-changing.
it is life-changing. And this was an elderly couple, and I have a feeling in the future, his issues are probably going to maybe require long-term care, and so that will help. And his wife is a dependent on his claim, so he's getting a pretty large monthly amount. But he's also got, illnesses that are not going to get better. Chronic kidney disease, a cancer, heart issues, just the whole gamut from Vietnam. He actually has I believe he maybe has a Purple Heart. He has a traumatic brain injury from being in combat battle. So, but he's just a joy to work with. So I'd say 95% of them are just a joy. Even the ones that call in at the last minute and say, I think a lot of them in the 38 to 40 range, 42. Those are the Gulf War on terrorism, men and women, COPD from his toxic exposure. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing more and more of that. A lot of those toxic exposure conditions don't make themselves obvious right away. They don't really know everything they were exposed to. And so then I have a gentleman that was non-allergic rhinitis. Then he went back, and now he's got chronic sinusitis, but then he had all these secondary conditions. So I'm kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with those secondaries, because they were some really, the one was rare. They never diagnose it. So I'm interested to see, but a lot of that is delayed, so I don't see those claims slowing down anytime soon. Trying to get those Vietnam veterans in, if you know any that, I even have some guys that put pressure on other guys, just go see her. Somebody said, she's nice, she'll help you. But I need to get them in.
A lot of them are too proud.
They are too proud. But a lot of them, when they do come in and we start talking, oh my word. And most of them have those presumptive conditions. Mm-hmm. They've got diabetes, and then they've got the peripheral neuropathy, and they've got coronary, so I can keep an eye. I cried because he passed away, and he was involved in a lot of the nuclear stuff. But it's really my privilege to serve them and help them get the benefits they deserve. We really don't know the price that most of them pay. So.
I think the last 2.5 months, it's been a lot of changes, a lot of things to come. I think.
One thing that isn't affected.
Nobody needs that extra stress.
No, especially when they're kind of depending on that sometimes to pay bills. So.
Thank you.
Until that dries up a little bit, they can't do the final cover of the dirt. So until that dries up a little bit, they can't do the final cover of the dirt. So those are still out there waiting. It'll
And
come.
who's doing that work again? Holland.
Yeah, they took a lot of tracking to get all that rock out there to bed it. It's just a mess.
That's been ongoing for quite some time, hasn't it?
Yeah, when they dug that in, I'm sure it was a lot by hand.
Wow. Any other drainage before we go to number 5? Okay, discussion with possible action regarding the Winnebago River cleanout.
I have sent you guys the section, the code section, what, because I asked IDVA, Carla and I were talking about it, as far as like the payment, and talked to Terry, it isn't right to have DD1 pay, because it's not at their outlet, it is not affecting them, so how do we get who to pay? So, people that specifically dump into it, and above. So, anything north to the border, I figured out the districts that actually dump into it. Those districts are already classified to know if other districts pay into them, you know, so many districts pay into one and they're already in there. So it's gonna be a lot of people. I did figure out how many parcels were in each district, but that really doesn't mean a lot.
What was it?
Oh, wait a minute. 12, 13, 1,400 people. Parcels,
Mm-hmm.
parcels, not people. So we would have to do a hearing, we'd have to do a notice. My recommendation is to get Colin involved, because I honestly don't know how it would be right if you don't know how much each district benefits from it. And how are we going to stop this from keep happening? Because what if all the people that are north of it, what if they have trees down and they've never said anything?
Well, that's the one thing I wanted to bring up. Maybe we should be doing all the way from Fort City up to the
But then why
border.
don't we go south? I mean, why are we as districts, drainage districts, gonna pay for the river to be cleaned? I don't benefit from it, but somehow if I'm in a district in town, I've gotta pay. It's not the district's problem that the river is so bad. And I feel like we're setting a precedence, which is fine, it's your guys' deal. But what's gonna stop us from cleaning the river? And then our landowners are paying for it, for thousands of people who want to use that river or come down the river for hunting or do whatever. Why isn't conservation helping? Why isn't, you know what I mean? I don't know what we're trying to fix besides this one area. There's so many areas that need it. And when you start having landowners have to pay for it, why isn't their area fixed? And then you've got people like Jeff Anderson, who it was a natural waterway, and he cleaned his own area the one time, and then we annexed it in, and now the district's gonna pay for it. I don't know. That's how I
It
feel.
is kind of true. Where do you start and stop?
And the bill is $30,000 for just that spot. Can you imagine how much it would
Did you ever talk
be?
to the watershed people?
Did not.
$30,000 and $500.
See if that's fair.
Mobilization of all equipment to get to work
Thanks,
area
Bertie.
at river is $3,000.
And that's on both sides.
So it's $30,500. So that's just that quarter mile? I mean, how long is this section, do you think?
The one section, well, you got one group of trees and a sandbar that's probably 60 foot, and then you got another one right after that where more trees are down, and probably another at least 60, 70 feet, and then you go around the corner a little bit more, and there's another section of trees, and so it's several.
But it's in length, maybe a quarter mile.
No, not even that.
Not even that.
It's all real tight in that area.
Okay, so we've got just that area for 30 grand.
It's more like 100 yards.
Well, it's more than that when you get around the corner.
Oh, I suppose.
So if we do that little section for 30 grand, can you imagine what we're gonna pay if we end up having to do the whole river? And it's not the district's responsibility to clean the river.
But the districts want to use the river, and who else is going to pay for it? I'm guessing the people that own the river aren't.
They
gonna pay
don't
for
care.
it. Yeah, no,
I mean,
know.
isn't that essentially what they said?
It's all
is-
natural waterway to
Yeah,
them.
is
Right.
the right question to ask, do the people from DD1 want this project done?
There's like a couple landowners who wanted it
So they
And Terry
could,
drove by it.
I'm constantly getting, why isn't our water going down? You know, it's like, even when it's low river last summer, why isn't our water going down? Well, it was being restricted on the river.
But it's not at their outlet. It's further south.
so they would just
Technical.
Yeah,
do,
do they wanna do it? I don't know, is that the right question? or-
if there'd be a certain group of people that would do a remonstrance on it.
They
You
can't if it's a repair.
repair.
Oh, it's a repair, yeah.
Well, because we're just cleaning it. So it's just a repair.
Well, is it technically a repair if it's in the river?
Well, that's what I was wondering too.
I mean, it's a repair, if it's beyond their outlet, then it isn't.
So then it's
Yeah.
new.
And Sean Helgeson told me he didn't believe it was DD1's problem.
And whose problem is it?
Exactly, it's the river's problem, it's the
So
department.
this is the bureaucracy I'm trying to avoid,
Mm-hmm.
is putting it down the road another 10 years because we're looking for funding from the DNR for the water trail. We're looking for funding from the Corps of Engineers because it's their baby.
Right,
It'll never happen.
right. And Carl and I talked, it's too bad we didn't think of this when FEMA happened, when we had some issues. Like if new trees were down, we could have maybe had FEMA help with it. Do you feel that they would have done the river?
What year
I
did
don't,
you
I mean,
get
I
on
don't
board?
know.
November 2014.
So that was about the time the first trees were showing up on the,
So I don't know if they
on
would
the
have
maps.
included it because it wasn't right at the
That's
outlet.
when, right before that's
Yeah.
when that FEMA project started. Because Willie was down and out when I was helping cover his, which we hadn't
Chris,
seen
you
it
didn't seem
then.
surprised at that estimate. There's.
Oh, I
another-
was, I'm not
Oh.
anymore.
Okay. I mean, there's previous things that were cleared out. I don't know how much those cost.
Right, when we did DD11, when we annexed that natural waterway in, it was $70,000. But
That
it
was
was
some
a lot
distance.
more trees,
Yeah, that-
and it was a lot more distance.
A lot of little stuff in there.
Exactly, so that's what I have in my head is that was 70, but it was a lot more.
And here we're not rooting trees out,
we're
well,
leaving
there's
a
a little
stump
bit in there,
And what are they gonna do with it? Are they taking it out?
but I think the plan was to pile it to the west of those other trees to kind of block it from going back in the river. There's kind of
Yeah,
a
it's like what
horseshoe
keeps
tree
it from-
But
there.
then
Yeah.
what does that do for landowners with their outlets? Their private tile into the river? Would that affect them at all?
It's all
leaving
county
the
ground
trees?
there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, on the other side, you said people farm it. So I'm just wondering, I don't want it to
Yeah.
stall
I
anybody
think
else
most of it's
doing
going to the
something.
west.
Okay. So if somebody is going into the DNR ground and they wanna say get in a canoe there, they're not gonna be able to because of these trees now that are just laying there?
Oh,
Is that what it's
There's a
gonna
lot
look
of distance they'll be putting them away from there.
But I mean, I'm just looking at it now, I'm a person, and I wanna go on the path and check out the river, I cannot because I have to hop these trees that are down.
There's no path.
No.
Okay, I don't know.
You know how much work it took for me and Gary to walk out there?
Yeah, I don't
It was
know.
not
I'm just-
good.
I don't know what it looks like. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate on what those down trees look like.
There's a lot of what ifs that aren't really
Yeah.
valid.
So I don't know what to do.
So the concern is if we go ahead and do it, are we setting a precedent for sure?
And we have to do a hearing. We have to do a public
Okay,
hearing.
so my thought is, if we're gonna go to that thing with Colin and determine benefit,
Mhm.
we need to probably do at least the whole length of the river in the county, so when down the road, we can determine we've got a formula in place to accommodate something would come up.
I don't know about that because a lot can change in 10, 20 years. I don't,
What would change?
A lot of trees can grow, a lot of trees can fall over, I suppose, you know.
I don't know.
Stuff.
I don't know if why do we want to spend that money now for something that we don't know will ever happen?
Because it's already doing at least over half of it.
I'm only, I don't know. That's you guys.
So should we invite Cynthia Farmer from the Watershed Group to come to one of our meetings and just see what that's you know, where they stand on all that stuff with the
What have they
watershed?
been doing in their meetings?
Not truckloads.
I suppose they don't have a lot to
Focus
do.
on water quality and
Yeah.
Mhm.
drainage area, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't really know if they have anything to do with this part of it, you know, and how it affects drainage for.
You know when you're going on B20 after the interstate towards Mason City, I've seen a sign that's got that water, Winnebago County, whatever.
Watershed.
Yeah.
So Mr. who lives here in town, he's come.
Paul Bartel.
Paul, you know, he might have some thoughts on it as well. He's involved, you know.
Because that looks like that should be cleaned out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering,
Yeah, what is happening, you
what
know?
what are they wanting to do?
I could see cleaning the trees out of it, but not a hell of a lot of silt, because if it doesn't get cleaned out further down the stream, it'll just silt back in fairly quickly. Other than the, you know, with the trees moved, it might flow better to take more of that silt down and deposit it in the next county, but.
The only benefit I can see to that cleaning the silt in the middle of the stream is you're not eroding the banks as bad.
Keeping a channel out there.
Because the
for
banks
it.
are probably putting the sediment in there.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something you guys can clean out
No, Long Ridge. I don't know how far it is from the bank.
And they were
Cleaned it
gonna-
out by the bridge in Leland.
Yeah.
What's that?
I just wondered if secondary roads had any kind of equipment to just get out the silt and be done with it for right now.
The silt
And that
in the
way it's-
trees.
Not the trees, just the silt.
You want, well, yeah, trees out to get the silt
Oh,
up.
gotcha.
Yeah,
I just wondered if they could help out in a temporary thing. Because I just-
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I believe the conservation needs to come in, because he had some thoughts on it. Get your gal, get Paul Bartel.
Mm-hmm.
This estimate's gonna be good for a while. And if it's not hurting badly anybody, I don't know, it's your guys'.
Maybe what we need to do is just send out a letter to everyone in DD1, the people that we've mentioned, have, you know, not a public hearing, but a,
Have them weigh in on it. Just
yeah, we
give
just
them
need everybody to,
informational.
an informational
Yeah,
meeting.
I like
Thank you,
that
Terry.
idea. I like that idea because
Yeah.
then people are gonna have ideas about their own property of how much they think it's actually gonna benefit it.
If we only charged DD1.
But that's not right.
we have.
No, I'm just saying, yeah.
Right, but then do we invite all the people that we want to charge?
Well, you said there's other districts that are in it, so in
Well, no.
DD1 already.
I mean,
DD12, sub-district 2.
All the landowners.
All those are in it.
because it's DD1, DD118, 84, 113, 59, 103, 76, 18, 92, 108, and 57.
Those are all the main districts.
They include the districts that go into them.
It's just in DD1.
You know what I mean?
there are
DD1 has
sub-districts.
multiple districts in it. DD113 might just be its own, but other districts might have other ones within it that get to the river. They might just be a tile system that go to their ditch to get to the ditch. These are not tile systems that go into it, it's just ditches that go into the river. So whoever is involved in their districts would be billed.
Well, maybe we need to start with DD1 and then, because sending out all those letters to all those districts would be cost prohibitive.
Well,
So if we put it on the radio, if we,
Since it's just informational, why
Put it-
not do it on the website, Facebook, and on the radio?
on the radio and in the newspapers, say we're having an informational hearing on the river, and then see who shows up.
the only thing that I don't like about that is it involves people all the way to Thompson. Whereas some of these districts are right there. And those landowners, I feel, are more invested than the people in Thompson. Is my thought. Do you have your map here?
I don't either today.
I mean, I can go get mine, but if you
Nice
have
to
it.
look at.
I mean, to me, if you're, I don't care where you're at, if your water flows through it,
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's a
And
city.
everybody-
I mean,
Every
I like
landowner-
the idea of DD1 because it's the biggest,
But I also feel like those little ones have more of concern, maybe.
Every landowner knows how much better water flows when it's unobstructed.
Like,
I can't believe that any of them are going to be completely totally against it.
so I go all the way
There'd be a
to
few, but-
118 because
If
it's
you don't
just,
avail yourselves to them, to allow
Is this
them
the
the
one?
opportunity.
Yeah, it's their money. If they don't want to do it, they don't do it.
I mean,
so I just did it
this is
to
such
in
a
here.
hot button issue for
So do
all
I have
farmers
DD
in
70?
Yeah.
No, I must have done it higher because I don't have DD 70. So
Size herd.
all of these, so there's DD1, this one is right here, 84, 118, 113,
So our
those people,
spot that we're impact on the river.
oh, it's right up here, yeah. So I just that.
Okay, here's our area.
Yeah. So, like, these people might care, and if we don't send them a letter, because they're a tile system and they outlet right into the river, they are gonna care more than these people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean, Carla, is I think DD 59 cares more than them. And then you've got trustees, oh, that's not trustee anymore, that's ours.
And she said,
So, and all these people, I think they would care more than they would care. And that's where you're getting then everybody. Because like DD 69 outlets into DD 1 lat this, and so they're in it. All these people are in it. All of these people are in it.
All of these.
And then, and that's just DD 1. All of these are DD 1. So then it's like, where do you stop? You have to send it to everybody. Like DD 92 probably isn't going to care that's as much, but I think these little guys might want to know what's happening. And like Jeff Anderson was in it, and so I mean he's got opinions. He might also be in 11. He's in
He's got
11,
some down here.
but 11 isn't it.
That's below it.
So it's
But I can almost imagine, I remember many years ago riding the river, and this was really
Oh, it's
bad
horrible.
over here.
It's horrible. So then that's my thought is, why are we doing this for 30 grand? Can you imagine what's up here and what's down here?
Well, I've ridden up here and it's better. From here all the way down to here, and it was very navigable there.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know.
I know. Where to start and stop. Where to start and stop.
Right,
It's almost impossible.
right.
Especially when you've got, this is how many,
It's
That
just those
seems-
districts I mentioned and how many parcels are in it.
I mean, for now, I mean, it just, that seems to be the number one restriction. I mean, for now, you
yeah, but
just
how do we know? We haven't traversed the rest of that.
the time to traverse it would have been.
Would know by district how much I had in mailing. I mean, so they would
you
essentially.
guys ever utilize Channel 2? I think they do for stuff like that.
That would be another free
That would-
information.
that'd
Yeah,
be
that'd be
free.
another free one.
And that gets a lot of, I used to do a lot of that.
I really don't wanna spend money on mailings for all this.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Seems to me
get
like
information out
If
there.
the district wanted to do it, that it would be fine. But
Do
trying
you
to get-
choose
try to
a
get consensus.
district or do you go all the people that dump into it
Where
to
the-
that point
I'd say where the request came from.
and just have them do it? Just DD1 because they requested it?
I mean, for this amount of money, I think it's
Yeah, you,
overcomplicated to involve them all. Maybe 30,000 is a lot of money, but in the spread among DD1,
Right.
it wouldn't amount to a lot to any one individual.
somewhere in my information, I had 100,000 split out in DD1 did when we were doing our clean out and the estimates and all that.
Do you recollect what it would
I mean,
be?
and I could run the numbers,
She has it.
what DD1 would pay for the whole
Maybe an
thing.
elective project, it'd be nice to get some sort of consensus from the district or, pull some landowners out there, but
Well, and I have to do a hearing. That's in the code.
sure, so I mean, it gives everybody an opportunity.
So the question was, who should pay for it?
Well,
Is it DD1 because they don't have a problem? So then do you charge everyone? Or because somebody in DD1 wondered about it
Yeah.
and Terry drove by it, do you just do DD1?
And I question whether it's a repair versus a,
It's not an improvement. Any type of cleaning like that
No.
is just a repair.
but if it's
Yeah,
not even in the,
district.
you're not in the
It's a
district,
gray
You're
area.
in a gray area there that I think
That's-
you have people,
I think so too.
but
I will call back to my IDBA, because I wonder if their belief is it's the outlet. Maybe I didn't specify enough.
Yeah, check
Outlet.
that again.
multiple.
Right. Okay.
So when you do a clean out on any district and there's sediment down the river, it's part of the project.
Right.
Well, define down the river, I mean,
And this
This
is
is pretty
improvement
close.
of common outlet. That's what they were basing it on, is an improvement of a common outlet. That's the code section they sent me.
Okay.
let me get a distance here. How far down the outlet?
Should we table this
I think we're
so
gonna
you
have
can
to.
keep moving?
Yes,
Okay.
and let's just get more information and put it back on for next week.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Discussion with possible action, health insurance. So this is just an approval of all the health insurance that we've discussed. The transferring over to the ISAC group, the wellness policy, dental and vision all remain the same. So it's just, I need a motion to approve all that going forward.
So that fund, that slush fund or whatever it is.
The partial self fund?
Yeah, that's still in place and
Yep.
it's got.
Yep.
Okay.
We just need to approve everything we discussed last week when he was here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensel, seconded by Derby, on our health insurance as we discussed last week. All in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Motion passed. Discussion with possible action, treasurer's window. Do we need Kevin? Do we need Julie? What do we need on that?
Did you,
About 800 feet.
did you guys, when you were looking at it, take the corner panels out and look at the, I was down there last Tuesday looking up in there and I got pictures of the manufacturer and the numbers, the number and stuff like that. It looks like to me, if you could get the schematic or the installation instructions, you know exactly where every bolt holding it to the wall might be. It looks like you could take the bolts loose on each end and bring it out, you know, one where it can go in and then out. You could probably take it out of there, unbolt it, take it out of there. The motor's up inside the,
And just repair the motor?
and just put in a different motor or whatever's up inside there. I don't know if there's teeth in it or shot, then, but it almost looks like you could probably get it out of there. You'd have to take the corner or the, you know, things for the panels, whatever you call that,
Yeah,
channel
the
or
purpose
whatever.
of the motor is to be automatic. I don't know that we need the automatic. I'd rather switch it over to just a crank it down, crank it up, if it's possible. Because now, when he was showing us the new one, you can get it with a motor or without a motor. So obviously, they make them both ways.
Started the discussion, Julie. Do you have anything to add
Well, if you
to
could,
it
if you,
since last week?
you would have to get a whole new door in order to have them with a crank on it, I would assume. Unless
Right.
they got some kind of, and if you could reuse this door by just sticking a new motor in the end.
Well,
I
the
think
guy
what-
that the guy from, what is it, Cody or
Cole.
Cole, said that there was no fix to this door.
Oh, you can't get parts for it.
No.
Where's he from?
Advanced door, down by the Ingles garage.
So when did he say that? Because I talked to him.
When I talked to him with Kevin that very first time,
Okay, so when I called him, because Bill said to see if we can just replace the motor part
yeah.
of it, and Cole said, oh yeah, you can do that. And he was supposed to check to see what it would cost to get it.
I was gonna call the manufacturer myself, but it says right on the thing up on the door there that you have to be a dealer in order to talk to that end of it.
Mhm.
I could get a hold of sales or, them trying to sell me something, but otherwise I'd have called them myself.
So Cole was supposed to check on that, and he said it can be done. They would just have to release the sliding door part.
Yeah, there's
From
just
the-
like 4 or 5 bolts that hold the actual door onto the thing that rolls up.
The roller, and he said, it would be possible to just get that piece, and it would take some time to get it take the old one out, put the new one in. But he said, it can be done. And I have not heard back from him on the cost of just that piece.
Let's table this until we get
Yeah.
a quote from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I thought he would have contacted Kevin by now, but it was, what was it, when you guys came down last week? Was it Wednesday, or did you come on Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah, it was Tuesday.
And you stepped up and looked up inside the, yeah. Let's just table this until we can get a quote.
Okay, who's gonna call Cole for a,
I will talk to Cole, I will talk to Kevin to talk to Cole.
okay.
I can text him, he likes me, he's giving him a lot of money every year.
There you go. Push some buttons.
Because if we can just replace the piece up above, then you're not having to rebuild outside of the,
Well, and it still looks the same, so the visual from the exterior.
the door would be the same and hopefully be less cost to it.
Yeah, hopefully a motor's just a couple $100 and it'd be.
You want Cole's
Well,
number?
the whole sleeve, that whole.
That comes with a motor in it.
Yeah,
Oh,
because that
okay.
whole piece up
No,
above
I
we
want
looked at,
Kevin up here,
that
for
has
this
to come
item.
out.
Okay,
Yeah.
And then
So-
we put a whole new piece up there.
And then
The
they just
motor
leave
is
the actual
built
door stays the same.
in. Yeah, the motor is built inside that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's up inside
okay,
there.
well, let's get some more information
Let's just
then
table.
and see if we can
If it can
make
be
this happen.
more cost effective that way and not have to do all that extra building,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
if it'll work.
Cole said it would, so he was to get that.
okay.
Just be a little bit more harder to get the piece out and put the piece in, but they can
Yeah.
do it.
Well, once you have the installation instructions or whatever, you should be able to see exactly what you have to take
10:00
loose.
something.
Okay,
I got nowhere to go yet.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna
Let's-
skip 8 and go to 10. Discussion with possible action regarding the medical examiner.
Talked to Boucher this morning, he's interested in it. I told him that I'd start an email with me and Carla and him.
No, this is the one from Mason.
He lives in Chicago.
Chicago.
So the way I explained it to him is I said, I kind of think what we'll do is we'll come up with a call. Clearly, we're not expecting him to show up on scene. He's just to proof the report and then sign off on the death and sign the death certificate.
Which will all be done electronically. I
Yes,
assume.
all on the web.
Mhm.
I told him, I said the plan was to kind of have somewhere between 3 and 5 MEIs, the investigator that goes out, come up with an actual call schedule where Thomas is Mondays and Spencer is Tuesdays and every fourth weekend and so on and so forth, and then I could fill in. And he thought it sounded good. He definitely has an interest in it. He would have to go to the ME school down in St. Louis. And it's like I told him, I said, I don't know if we'll send a couple from here, send him and maybe me to St. Louis or whatever to go to the big school and then send the rest of them to the Des Moines school. I don't know what he would want to go to school, because it's a whole week. So, but that's where I was figuring we can start the conversations with, do an email group between me and Carla and Boucher, and either way, we're gonna have to just send someone, unless we can get a hold of someone that's willing, he is already, but I don't, it sounds like Hancock County's kinda out of the running.
Oh, really?
Well, that's the way Brian made it sound last, like, he's not really interested in taking on another county for any stuff. He would do it to help us, in the interim.
For a while.
Yeah, if we've got a
Well,
gap to
because we're on
fill.
a guest network now.
So I guess I don't really know.
Just look, accessory
Yeah,
it's
they're getting harder and harder to find, and
over by the,
so I haven't looked any farther than Couché. So if someone's got someone they want me to reach out to, or they want to
it's
reach
way
out
over
to
by.
them, for a different option, I'm down, I would reach out to him.
Sure. So it can't be like Becca, it can't
No.
be Rebecca.
It can't be a mid-level, it has to be a MD or a DO.
Thank you.
I know Dr. Herrick, he's a pretty young and active doctor in the ER. He's AirMed's medical director. He's not interested in anything. He's busy enough the way he is. I haven't talked to any other ER doctors to see. There's a few MDDOs down there that would be could potentially be interested, but the hard part's gonna be is to get a doctor to go to school for a week, you know.
What is Melanie DeVries?
I have no idea. I don't know who she is.
Oh,
She's up at Lake Mountain.
she's
so-
really,
Oh, she'll be a mid-level then. Dr. Carlson is the only practicing MDDO in our county.
See that, they got-
And they have to be practicing?
They just have to be an MDDO. They don't even have to be in our county. I'm just saying, if they work in Winnebago County, Carlson's the only doctor. Everyone else is mid-levels.
Yeah.
And a mid-level has to operate under a doctor, like write prescriptions and that kind of thing.
What's Pastor Bill, is it Peterson? Or
She's
Peters?
She's retired. She doesn't have a license anymore.
Oh, she doesn't.
It's too bad that Spencer Larson isn't far enough along to where he's willing to commit. Got a few years left.
yeah.
Well, I
So
think it's worth the conversation, getting that going, and
I don't see any other options. I mean, the Peterson, that was from Hancock County, right? And he's
Yeah,
the
Joe
only one
Peterson.
that would be willing to,
And I haven't reached out, I was also going to, I wasn't going to say anything with Brian here last week, but I was also going to reach out to Cassuth County and see if they would be interested in, because you get up by Rake and you've got Melinda who's down in Clear Lake, and it gets to be
it's a long ways, takes all in.
a long time to sit with a family that's just lost someone, but on our end of the world or Steve's end of the world, we're sitting there for an hour and a half or 2 hours with a dead body in the living room and
Yeah,
family
and
trying
nobody
to,
can leave and.
and one of us has to stay there. After you pronounce somebody, you have to remain in custody of the body. You can't, until the medical examiner releases the body. There were some things, Shay and I talked about this morning. I said, for example, we could probably set up, different guidelines, so we want to with a phone call to determine autopsy or not. Like, for example, if they're under the age of 65 and have no medical conditions, obviously we're going to send it for an autopsy. If they have underlying medical conditions or whatever, these medical conditions, well, obviously that was the demise, so we don't have to send that one,
or at least contributed to it.
Yeah, so there's certain things we can outline with the ME program that I think would really streamline this. I think we could do pretty good things.
So this sounds really strange, but I mean, is it a Zoom, can you Zoom that stuff?
So from the ambulance side of the world, we've had one Zoom, we've had one FaceTime medical examination. And that was a really weird deal down in Worth County where it was a hospice patient that passed away and around to the hospital, and it was a super pea soup foggy night, and she was on the far corner of the county, and she's like, just FaceTime me. So it depends on the situation,
I mean,
obviously.
but look at all of the medical exams that happen,
Over Zoom. And the MEI would go on scene and are basically the eyes of the ME, is, what we're doing. So if the MEI has a question for Dr. Couchet, then that would be where the Zoom would take place, But the MEI shows up, they're the ones that take the pictures, they're the ones that ask all the questions, they're the ones that are the front line, and then Couchet would just review the chart and sign off on the death.
Got a cramp.
Um,
These chairs are so
Walk
comfy.
it up, walk it up.
But I think we could do some good things. I know there's frustration on our end that I didn't speak on last
But
week,
this isn't
but
on
like,
camera.
we're kind of looking for like an actual call schedule. So
Yeah.
Susan's
I can
on
see
call
where-
today, you
yeah.
have an hour to show up, you know,
Yeah,
because there's a lot of,
That's ideal. I mean, that would be,
there's a lot of go down the list and I'll call Dale while Dale's in Mason. Well, now we're gonna try Molly and Molly doesn't answer and, you know, oh, they're busy. And, you know, there's a lot of phone tag garbage that happens currently that I think we can really clean up and expedite. And then even if we get into transporting, we've kind of kicked around the idea of the ambulance having a fly car or a spare ambulance to transport bodies for autopsy instead of using the funeral home to generate revenue to replace fly cars.
and that's all the way down to.
That's just down to Ankeny.
Yeah.
So,
They don't do them locally.
yeah. But, you know, if you get on that aspect, then the ambulance, you know, okay, we're gonna autopsy this person. The ambulance will load up the body, bring it back to the ambulance garage, we can load it in a fly car and bloop, down the road it goes. Instead of stand here and wait for a shot funeral home now and stand here, you know. Which they're very good, I'm not knocking on shot, but I know he kinda gives an eye roll every time he has to go to Ankeny at 2 o'clock in the morning. We're used to doing weird shit in the middle of the night, so we're okay with it.
Every night.
Every night.
Some people are so inconsiderate when they have their health issues.
I know, right? If you could just wait.
Yeah,
But no, the paramedics this morning, we ran call number 500 for the year already, so
all right.
No kidding. Wow.
busy.
Okay.
So is there anyone else wants me to check into, any other doctors they know?
There's
any
nothing
other-
coming in the robotic part of it, like a Tesla robot that goes around and does the
Good,
ME.
just collect them all and,
Yeah,
Working under that other couche or
An
whatever.
AI autopsy?
Yeah.
there you
Well,
go.
that's
yeah.
where I was zooming to
There you
then,
go.
guys, you know,
Mhm.
just.
More than
Okay.
likely, we do all this and then that'll come and
We just
All
need
right,
to get
so-
McCoy's little thing he had on Star Trek, and he just waved it over the body and told you everything that was wrong.
We're gonna jump back up to 8.
So no one's got anything that they want me to look into outside of this? Just
I
start
think just
an
this-
email with Carla
Yeah.
and Boucher, and we'll go from there. She just got Jamie's number, and I'll talk to Molly and talk to Dale and see who's interested in the old group to continue on, and report back in 2 weeks, or what do you want to do?
whatever's
sounds
available, I
good.
guess.
Whenever, yeah,
Keep it
whenever
going.
any.
Try to get we'll try to get more information, more set in stone stuff for 2 weeks, and
Okay,
that'll give us a little time, don't you think,
yes.
boss?
How
I
long
think so.
will Peterson even do it? Or,
He doesn't want to do it very long,
yeah.
but I think he'll fill in until we get something.
And you guys are okay if I reach out to Phil, so we can kind of pick and shoot, you know, like if it's something up in Rake, we can see if Cassuth County's got something close, or if
Mutual
we're.
aid or
I think
something.
we need all,
Well,
Hands on deck.
my thought is if we
Cassuth
use,
County's got a hospital, so they're gonna have,
yeah, and they've got a few MEIs, they've got Phil up in Sway City, they've got Carissa who lives just across the western border, and then they got another one that lives in Titanca, so they've got 3 or 4 MEIs. And my thought is just, you know, if it's something over that way, and they're more readily available, instead of burning out Hancock County on everything, you know, kind of spread the wealth for the few hopefully we have
yeah.
in the interim.
Yep.
Okay.
Just to back you up for a second, with Dr. Carlson leaving,
Mhm.
that ME goes with him and so do without.
Yeah, he was our medical examiner in the county.
Yeah.
So he's retiring, license expires June 1st. Dr. Carlson's no longer Dr. Carlson. He's just Byron Carlson, June 1st. So the ambulance has gone to this Dr. Couchet. We're working on finalizing our steps because Carlson was our medical director. So we're just going to use him for MEI or ME stuff. So
Like I say, about June 1st, that'll be the one we're unattended death and we're there and
mhm.
we are 3 and 4 hours later.
And so our plan for the interim is Hancock County can come up, and then I'm gonna reach out to Phil Albers, who's kind of the one that's in charge of the stuff over in Cassuth County, see see if they can come over and help and kind of play it by ear. You know, who can do what.
Who is the one in Worth?
So they use Frank Stern, who comes out of Mason City.
But he doesn't want to
Yeah,
do
they don't, Worth County doesn't have their own.
But Frank Stern doesn't want to do any more.
He already does Cerro Gordo and Worth.
He's a retired police officer.
Yeah.
So.
He's the MEI. I don't know who their ME is, like their
Oh.
actual doctor.
All
'Cause,
right.
yeah, Frank Stern is a
just a
retired
MEI.
law enforcement, and he does all the investigations.
All right.
Way back when David Gantz was sheriff at Worth County, and he went to classes.
You just send him.
There we go.
Well, maybe somebody that'll be here a little longer than.
Yes.
There you go. We'll send Mikey. How's that sound? Brandon.
Like so, we'll delve into it.
No,
Well,
we can talk it up
and
anyway.
our
You can talk it up anyway.
yeah.
I mean, discuss, have a discussion.
Yeah, and my wheels are spinning on calling ILEA today, and okay, is this class even offered anywhere anymore? So.
Well, and our thoughts were, like with Thomas, yes, most of our calls are medical related, and the paramedics or the medical background is going to shine through. But now you get into the weird event of a traffic accident or a homicide, or, you know, that's not out of the question to happen, obviously. The law enforcement side of the MEI is gonna, so there is, I like to have the idea of having a little bit of both backgrounds, and they can help each other out.
That's just where I wonder if they would have to be trained up to at least a minimum level of medical.
That's my knowledge. It's
Okay.
just, you either have to have a law enforcement or a medical background.
Probably the nice thing about you is, you know, you've already got the medical, and you've been on at least one side of the law.
Yeah, yeah. He's not the giving end, I'll tell you that much.
He skirted the other.
Yeah, the only difference to you and everybody else is you got away with it, right?
Yep.
All right. So
Okay, we'll be in touch,
be
Joe.
talking about
Okay.
this some more. All right, we are to 8, discussion with possible action, 5-year inspection of courthouse.
So my PowerPoint's not pulling up today, and Brody's working on it, but for now, maybe we can just table this till next week. Sorry for making you come up, Kevin.
no problem.
Okay, we can do that. Number 8 is tabled. And we are
It's gonna be a
at-
record of tables.
I know. I'll put it on the agenda for next week. It just is not coming up today. I'll put it on
So.
the USB for next week. What's that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we're not on, maybe over form, at least. I'll talk to him.
All right, so we're at 10, appoint Mark Peterson to magistrate nominating committee. Has he agreed?
Yes.
Who is that replacing then?
Gertis.
Okay.
I'll make the motion
Yep,
to
yep.
appoint Mark Peterson magistrate nominating committee.
We're just gonna table it till next week.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. Because if we open it like over there, it probably will open.
Okay. I'll put it on the USB for next week, and then we
Okay.
can just put it on the agenda for next week.
You want a second it?
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Hmm?
You want a second?
Sure, I'll second it, yeah.
All right,
We
motion
got
by
distracted
Smith,
there.
seconded by Jensvold to appoint Mark Peterson to the magistrate nominating committee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. 12, consider for approval final voucher for bridge replacement project BROS-CO 9586-8J95.
This is the bridge replacement project from this last summer that Rogers Brothers did north of Lake Mills on the west side of section 16 in Norway Township. This is the release of the retainage, $5,229.59. Any questions?
Everything seems to be completely done then.
You're satisfied?
Mm-hmm. They did a nice job. It's always nice to have a local contractor doing a local job.
Yeah, it's just what? Mobilization, just a couple miles?
Yeah.
So the original cost of that was $174.
What size pipe was that then?
16 by 8.
Okay.
Got good prices last summer.
Where was this one you said again? I read
Lake
the,
Mills,
yeah.
gravel road.
I'll make the motion to approve the final voucher for bridge replacement project.
I'll second it.
Motion by Smith and seconded by Derby to approve the final voucher. All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
All right, we're to open forum. Do we have anything?
Did we ever do number 11?
Um,
I don't remember it.
Is that me?
no, we were just gonna
Make
skip
'em
that
sweat.
one today.
Oh, that's right.
Because-
Oh, yeah, that's right. Carla wanted to get out of here.
Because you know why?
Yeah.
Carla said it was so boring.
Yeah.
She's the one who said it. I did not.
You're not supposed to say that.
I was
in front of
just gonna
Scott.
say, I think that was for our ears only.
Hey, yeah, Wayne's good.
No, we can do 11, it's fine.
I was gonna say, it's not 11 o'clock yet. So.
No, we're good.
Yeah, you're good.
So Scott, we're so excited to hear about what is happening in secondary road matters.
Yeah, well, the guys took equipment off maintainers and trucks.
Good.
Just maintainers so far. Soon to be trucks also. We're kind of, switching gears from winter to summer. We still have the ability to plow snow with what we plow on. Just,
Problems for you guys.
if we get snow, we don't plow the
Yeah,
same.
no, can you maybe stay? We're gonna be right there.
I got a message from a Rice Lake resident that's asking some more questions about our last update, which is pretty well the project is ready, except first we're waiting on one more easement. And so I'll have to send a response to him later today to try and clear up any of his questions, but I just reiterated what the board has said, so we'll see what I can learn there. And then kind of a building update.
Kingland started yesterday out there, so not too much work done so far, but getting going anyway. You guys have been out spotting edge running on pavements.
Yeah, I saw there were some out there in the curves out there.
Yeah, so they're just hitting the worst spots right now, and then we're getting the roller put on the one maintaining the disc, so then we'll start disking all the shoulders again. So just getting material in those bad spots, so when we do disc it, there's something there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be all, that should go fairly quickly, I think, once we get the maintainers rolling. Get them all tuned up early. Get all some,
We have one roller mounted.
then we have one roller, yes. That's kind of plan there, and then start spotting the gravels here. Once we're done with that.
Have you investigated that other process for treating gravel roads?
The Parmesan and stuff?
Yeah, the one that goes several years.
Yeah.
What's it called?
There's two products. There's one that's called Parmesan, and there's another one I can't think of it off the top of my head, but they're about the same.
They're like clear oils, clear liquids that you can mix into a gravel road to try and get better structural numbers. It's on the line of dust control, but it's a little bit more intensive process to mix it in. And mostly they've been very expensive, but we found a couple that are a little more affordable, so we've been looking into it a little more.
The only question I had I like them, and then the only question I had this winter is when we had ice and stuff like that, it'd be what to do on those stretches of gravel. Obviously, you can't just put salt and sand down. You'd have to address the ice in a different way, and I don't know if I got the answer to that.
So the end product, so like, 150th past your dad's place there, you know, that half-mile stretch there has been built up, it's been oiled over the years, and it's a really nice, it's stable, and would it end up kinda like that, you know, longer term thing?
Yeah, it's supposed to be they put it on.
The way they've explained it to me is that once you mix in the material, the surface isn't quite as tight as if you dust control it. So you can use them in tandem also, just to make sure it's as tight as dust control makes it, you know, where it's almost like traveling around there's no loose material. And the idea is that by applying this material, you save enough in gravel application and blading that it pays for itself. And that's what we're trying to make sense.
I guess I'd like to know when you're looking into it and then get, you know, some opinions from people that are using it. Is it good in high traffic areas with heavy loads? Is it good just in high traffic areas to kind of prevent washboarding? You know, just thinking about a couple of different roads that have a continued problem.
Right.
You know, things like that. And the other one that come to mind would be going up back way to Rice Lake. We talked about something there.
It's not a dust suppressant, so I mean it'll still.
It does provide, it does provide some dust benefits, but it isn't.
But probably with low traffic, it probably wouldn't have as much dust, would it?
It shouldn't. I mean, you know, one of the goals of the product is to bind the material together and give it some cohesive characteristics.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to try it somewhere and keep in a place where we could really keep an eye on it and watch.
Yeah, I mean,
how it works.
it's not a insignificant investment. We probably have to put $10,000 a mile into it, and
But it eliminates at least blading that part of it more, right?
right. But it would have to at least get us kind of double the life out of gravel resurfacing, I think, to really get ahead. So it would really have to tie it all together and keep the rocks from rattling around and turning into dust.
So some of the higher traffic ones that I can think of are the ones closest to towns, like Lake Mills and Fort City and maybe.
Like the
over
Snake
by
Road?
Buffalo,
Yeah, I mean, the traffic count map says it all.
Definitely
Anywhere
the
there's
same.
100 vehicles a day or, you know, even 70 or 80, you know, it could be a good candidate. And we, every operator would know the one or two locations where it makes sense.
How much traffic is on the Mill Road going north?
I want to say it's
That's quite a bit,
100,
I would guess.
somewhere around 100,
Yeah.
big wide road.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, just wanted to
Interesting, yeah.
find out a little, and if you want to get some, you know, people that have used it, how it's been working.
Yeah, I know Franklin County put some permadesign down last fall, and it probably would make sense to go look at it now to see how it fared through winter and all that. You know, if we're considering doing it.
And there doesn't need to be reapplication then unless.
I mean, you know, it's supposed to give you a certain lifespan. I want to say it's like 7 to 10 years that they're trying to get in terms of like, you know, very minimal maintenance that grows a little bit at the tail end. But you'd be blading just fix-it spots. You really wouldn't ever blade it end to end because it would probably slab or something. It would behave like.
What's the lifespan of the stuff that we use now?
The dust control?
Dust control.
Well, some people put it down twice in a year.
Yeah,
It's not the same rate, you know, it's just a light rate compared to this, but.
Yeah.
But it seems like the more years you do it, like at your dad's place there, that seems to be holding better every year more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a residual effect, but I don't know, a couple of years after, if you haven't done it, it'll start to, I mean, I don't think you'd notice it too much.
those spots and those dust controls are definitely harder.
Mhm.
And like the Parmesan, when you put it in an application, you're doing the top 6 inches.
Right, scarified in and you blade the top 6 inches of the material back and forth and you kind of pack it down like a 6-inch mat of asphalt, but it's rock or gravel.
So it's applied the same way though as a spray of some sort?
It's a spray, but you have a lot more equipment to supplement the process to try and mix it in.
The other
You probably
question,
have a scarifier, you have a roller, you have a maintainer or two or several to try and work the material back and forth.
I guess the other question would be the amount of limestone in the road and gravel in the road type of thing, does that affect it, so?
I think that, that limestone is probably the more familiar product that's compatible, but I don't think there's any problem with the clay gravel either. We've had them out and looked at the roads, they haven't taken any samples, but
I would say there won't be any difference because it's used up in Las Vegas on the clay roads out there, shaping roads.
Alright.
it's mostly just about having enough dust and fine particles, which is, every road has plenty of that.
They just kind of act like a binder then, the
Yeah,
smaller particles?
can't tell you how the chemistry works, but just kind of glues it all together and gives it more of a structural capacity.
Sounds like we should try that on our driveways. Right? Kinda cool.
I didn't hire somebody to put that in for you.
Okay.
So what did they use like on, is it just a certain type of gravel they use, like on A16, is it up there, going like the Elmore Blacktop we call it, up there by Ray? What is that? Is that A16?
Elmore Black.
It goes straight west from the Rape Cemetery out there.
Yeah.
And that shoulder seems to hold together so well.
That we use? Or?
On our blacktop going there.
Just the shoulder.
I'm talking the shoulder, I'm not talking a gravel road that's been treated.
500 Street.
Fine, yeah.
We've just been using,
It's-
this year, what we're using?
No, it's been good ever since that was repaved.
Oh.
That shoulder seems to be,
Maybe that's
Stays
good luck. I don't know. It was entirely, road stone, just like we put on our road. Packed all as like a single layer. And of course, that was after we widened shoulders, and that helps.
yeah, no, it's a nice wide shoulder and stuff. It's just, I've noticed over the years since it's been done that it's really hung together. And I thought maybe they put some of this stuff in there or something to get it hanging together.
I've thought about dust control or other things on shoulders as well, because it's kind of expensive to go around and spot these little drop-offs. And it's
yeah.
also dangerous when you get spots that start to rid around 4-6 inches deep off the edge of the pavement. So we've been considering that too. It's maybe the argument's not perfectly convincing yet that it's gonna save us money.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it seems like all the maintenance running up and down with maintainers is so expensive, but it's all, it's so much cheaper than the material that it takes to stabilize it, that the payoff comes down the road, not in 1 year.
Yeah.
The more bar tires you have on a shoulder, the more it throws it up and moves it.
Yeah, the other thing too is, if we treated 10 miles and didn't blade them, we still own the maintainers. So, you're saving hours on the maintainers, but you still own the maintainer.
Okay, anything else, Scott? Ethan? All right. Now we are at open forum.
Okay, that box I have there, Kevin, if you want to just grab that top bid and that piece out of there.
Oh, it's not donuts.
Oh, gee whiz, donuts.
This is for the jail repair in those corners and cracks. Darren Eastfold sent this. This is a revised bid. If it's a little more spendy than the other one. That's
Okay, I had seen that.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the
34.96.
yeah. That's what they're.
The first one was much higher, was it not?
I don't know. It should be laying in that box there. This one should be a little more
Maybe
expensive because
$291.
of, it's a little heavier gauge.
That's the heavy
That's-
gauge one?
Yeah, this is the material, and I checked with Delbert, who's the steel inspector, and, we wanna have him take that bevel out where your thumb is, Bill.
Yeah, that,
Yeah. Just
you
so-
want it flat.
So it's flat. And then they're gonna, like what Darren said, he says they'll just bolt it on one side. So they'll have no pick caulk in there first, and then this will cover that, and then they'll bolt it on just one side. He says, I think the building is probably flexed as much as it's going to. But at least.
Well, then it could have a, even, it could have a crack just on the one side then, whichever, if it does move.
Yeah, so,
Well, what about doing the bevel the other way? So you're getting a positive contact on the edge so they can't slip
oh,
stuff
right,
behind there.
yeah, I guess we kinda talked all
I think
options
it'd be
with
more
Darren, but I
of a-
kinda green lighted the, he says, oh, yeah, if you flip it over. But
I'm just
they're
saying,
either gonna have adhesive on that side or caulk, there's gonna be,
do you need it if there's a mechanical edge like the bevel the other way?
Maybe just the glue would be
If
the.
you're, you know, say this was inverted, then at least you've got positive contact there.
yeah.
That's-
That's what we want, we don't want that gap, so, yeah.
Well, how long are these gonna be?
Well, I would think you'd almost want it to be one big continuous piece.
Yeah, and they were gonna put where there is a separation or a secondary piece, it's gonna be up high enough, like to the 12-foot range maybe, where it's gonna be out of reach.
Nobody could reach
If
it.
you mounted it to the wall that is in theory moving, is it the outside wall that's moving? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because then it would just stay along and it wouldn't, a gap wouldn't create. But if you moved, attached to the wall that isn't moving, then a gap could actually, if it did
Yeah,
move more.
I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying, but,
yeah.
you know, they're the experts. so-
But no, that, they should, they,
Yeah,
What's the new bid, Terry?
so,
3496.
which, I guess, in my mind's eye, when this
Oh,
whole
wait a
thing
minute,
started,
there's two here.
I
30.
had a much more inflated figure in my head, so, like I said, I just said, again, and I checked with Delbert, I said, I just wanna do this right, do it once, you know, so
So
we're
this
covered.
is for all the spots that are showing
Yeah,
any.
yeah,
Is it for all the spots that have potential of breaking or anything, or is this just all the actual?
I think it's just the worry points that were,
The spots that we looked at when we
Yeah.
did the tour.
yeah. And like, ultimately, like I say, it's my jail, Kevin's budget, our county buildings, so,
That actually seems reasonable, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had to green light I did sign off on that bid,
Must
you
be a
know.
day job or something.
Yeah, and like I said, it just really, and he said, you know, they would adjust things on the fly or whatever. It's gonna-
So, I'm still looking at this, if we had the bevels this way. And
I
this-
think we told him to take the bevel out, so it's just gonna.
Well, I'd rather have the bevel the other way, so you're contacting positively.
Mhm.
And then if this was more obtuse, to where it's stretched and you push it in there, then you always have good contact on it, even
you
though
know,
the
it'll be,
wall might
you're
move.
talking, it'll be like spring loaded then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. So you should just.
I wouldn't do a right angle necessarily. Doesn't that seem like
Well,
it worked better?
Even if you just had it spread a little further and had it flat, I mean, it would still have the pressure would be out on the outside lip. It'd be a little more if it was beveled the opposite way, I suppose.
I guess we spoke of flat, you know, take that bevel out altogether, so it's flat on flat.
Well, you certainly wouldn't want the bevel that's there.
Well, I do a lot of thin metal,
Mhm.
then it's always better to have that bevel contacting so you never have an open edge. It just stays there,
Okay.
positive.
I can address that with them, and, yeah. But like I said, you know, whatever edge, they were gonna gap it with adhesive and or.
And I suppose the
Thick
time
caulk.
of year, is it tight in the spring and
Yeah,
fall?
that's the tricky part. When do you
You
place
put it on there
this?
when it's
When
tight.
it's expanded or when
Mhm.
it's tight? But if they think it's done doing all of its movement.
Or yeah, that's where.
What
if
did
there's
the
no-
architect say, or the engineer that we had, I forget what he said.
Oh,
He thought it was done doing what it's.
Stable or whatever.
from Veenster Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, probably when it's spread is when you want to put it on there. If you have the obtuse angle to where it's contacting, then as it comes back together, it's compressing more.
Yeah. So.
First,
And the
stage
expansion
is
is in the
expensive.
summer, isn't it? It spreads in the summer.
Yeah.
If it's like a road, the cracks are biggest in the winter.
Wow. But this seemed to be moving because the outside wall is warmer than the inside wall, or is it in the winter it's doing that? Can't remember.
You know, bigger temperature contrast.
You're always the same on the inside. The outside, it changes up in the summer more.
Weren't we also thinking that the moisture in the ground was contributing to it some?
Not anymore.
That being wet out there?
No,
That wasn't any part of this?
that nothing moved there.
So, like I said, I know this isn't actionable today, but should we have it on the board next week? Do we have to vote on anything, or?
I don't know, it's just a repair.
Yeah, I mean, we've been kind of green lighted to do it, I guess. I just want to
Yeah, I would
keep
think.
you abreast.
So those are just my suggestions on the corners.
I'll call Darren today.
How are they fastening them?
Well, the bolts that are there now,
Oh,
the detention bolts, so they're made for jails, so.
Security.
Yeah. What am I trying to say?
oh, they're a fastener with a special head then?
Yeah, it's got a head and then, I don't know, it's got that star thing in the
Yeah,
middle.
and a peg in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Security.
Tamper-proof, there you go.
So it takes a hollow Torx bit or whatever.
So, yeah. They're built for the industry, so.
Okay.
I think it's just
There's
your
the management.
your repair and Kevin's. I think it sounds reasonable to me.
So like, I just bring it forth to you today since we got that the other day, and if we don't have to do anything next week, we won't. We're just gonna hammer out a date, and it sounds like it'd be sooner than later.
It would be better to have one long piece in there without a break.
Yep.
But,
But I don't know if they can do that.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, you'd have to ask him.
We spoke to that the other day. Well, Rick was on that phone call. You were busy doing all your detail work, so if Rick can throw a name back at you, if you ask him that he might have heard, or.
I don't know that they're gonna gap or anything if you joined up, the head edge to edge. I don't think you'll end up with gaps at any point.
Maybe best to have a one piece, but
Yeah.
if you can't do it, I don't know.
They might get a
That's
lot
very
more.
question.
Yeah, and we kind of addressed that pretty hard, was,
Right.
because they're kids and they're gonna pick at it if they can
Mhm.
get to it, so.
Do you have a
if we
route to
put
get
it
it
up
in there?
high enough out of reach that.
How tall is the wall? 16,
Yeah.
so you gotta have a route for it to come in. It's not gonna bend.
We did approach on that. We did approach on that topic, so. It's well
I
in
think we
mind.
can get a long piece in there.
Anyway, that's all I need. I just wanted to bring that forth to you.
Perfect. Be nice to get that.
Yeah. And like I said, the first, my reach out to Delbert was the first gauge or whatever that I said, is this gonna suffice for your, okay, we don't wanna go ahead and do it and then have you come in and do your next inspection, say,
Should have been
no.
thicker, huh?
Yeah. So he said, no, if they feel that's up to the standard, then go with it.
All right. Other things for open forum?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Did you have anything on health insurance today?
Yeah, we passed it.
Anything? Okay, thanks.
Oh, I mean, if you want to keep it, yeah, for the time being, I think maybe I just will.
You want it? Yep.
And
Alright.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Yep. Consider for approval liquor license for the barn.
I'll make a motion to approve the liquor license for the barn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Jensel, second by Derby to approve liquor license for the barn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval recorder's quarterly report.
I'll make a motion to approve the recorder's quarterly report.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensel, second by Derby, approve the quarterly report for the recorder. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval the auditor's quarterly report.
Very past yours.
You did pass it?
Yeah. Did you have anything
I
you
tried
want
to
to say
list
about
it
it?
in, but you must be ahead of the listening
Oh, really?
piece.
Oh,
Huh.
shoot. Was there something you wanted to?
Just was
Discuss.
here if you had any questions.
No, it looks pretty straightforward.
Good,
Okay,
Yep.
very good,
All right,
thank you.
thanks.
thank you. It's a long ways up there too.
Yeah.
That's our health initiative.
Yeah, that's on the health program.
Yeah.
We just call people up here for pointless reasons, just so they get them up and down the stairs.
Namely Kevin.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's quarterly report.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby, second by Jensel to approve the auditor's quarterly report. All in favor?
Aye.
Consider for approval the sheriff's quarterly report.
I'll make a motion to approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
I'll second it. I thought we were gonna
Rock, our best 2 out of 3 best 2 out of 3 takedowns.
Don't wanna show
Rock,
favoritism.
paper, scissors.
In wrestling practice, is always the best 2 out of 3 takedowns or whatever anybody
All
had
right,
to do.
who made the?
I made them.
All right, motion by Derby, second by Jensel to approve the sheriff's quarterly report. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Page
How are we
2.
doing for your timeline, Carla? Consider for approval county claims.
I can make a
There
motion.
was a, can I just real quick, Melissa from Winnebago purchased a new copier and, without consulting Brody. And I think it's important for everybody to realize that that's what we have IT people for. He needs to be consulted when we have those kind of huge purchases. I don't know if we need to put something in the policy book that Brody needs to be consulted about that. It's,
And the bad thing is, it's kinda, we're in charge of her budget more than Worth County is, and they have IT also, and
well, she didn't consult with anyone's IT
Yeah.
as far as what I understand. And, Brody's done a really good job of getting everybody's printers the same so we can all use the same ink, so we can all be
Volume
consistent. And then she's doing something completely different and very, very expensive. So I just think it needs to be addressed.
So it's already a done deal, it's already purchased, it's already in place.
I don't know that, I think she purchased it, but is there a return policy, is there, I mean, what is she,
I don't know.
Or was
We
there a
we have a meeting
maintenance?
coming up with her.
We do.
We
Was-
haven't seen her for a while.
Was there a maintenance schedule that had to
I don't
go
know.
with it too?
I don't know the
So-
answer because she didn't talk to anybody
It's
about
kind
it.
of yeah, it used to be a lease, then we went to, we bought out a lease, and now we're,
It was gonna be cheaper to own one.
yeah.
I remember that discussion, I guess, but,
We'll talk about it get it put on the, when is that meeting?
It's
Monday, isn't it?
I don't know, I
Next
posted
Monday.
an
Next
agenda
Monday.
yesterday, so.
Yeah, next Monday.
She said she can't, well, she said she can't,
Send us the information until
yeah,
Saturday.
the
or
packet's
something.
not coming
Yeah.
out till Saturday.
Yeah.
But, the meeting's on Monday, and I think it's a dialectic, isn't it?
That's what I have on my calendar.
I had to dig for it too, 'cause to find it. We can bring it up on Monday one way or another.
We'll
Okay.
have discussions about it. Guess I have it on my other calendar, but yeah. Um,
Two different ones here.
Oh, is there two things there?
I have to admit, I had trouble with my laptop. I'm having Brody look at it today with my two-factor authentication, and so there was some things I didn't see. So if there was conversations,
Well, I looked through it.
if there's any other conversations, just text my regular phone until we get it figured out.
I'll finish my motion on the claims.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby, second by Jensvold to approve county claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passed. Consider for approval payroll. Okay, good day to travel, Carla.
Yeah.
I can just bring these down.
Yeah, I'm gonna send Chris in.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Safe travels. Did you guys get a new thing where you had to have a new two-factor authentication to get into your site?
Not that I have to,
What site?
Where it sends to,
onto the Outlook, or I
Outlook.
have it on Outlook, but
I have it on Outlook too.
I might have got a prompt and I just said ignore.
Oh, so then it sends it to your phone? I got locked out. Hi. Bad, so.
I'm just wondering if I can ask you to stamp this report for me. This is the semi-annual report that you guys had run over back in February, and you approved it then. But this is the one that I put in the paper, is this one.
Okay.
And I must now missed you a couple times to get you.
Sure. So this
Stamp
needs to
it.
be an approved, not a,
Yeah, if it could be just like
just
this.
like that? Okay.
Yeah, it should have come up the same day that Valerie
approved?
Yeah, so it'd be approved back on February 18th.
So do we need to change the date on it?
Yeah. So here's
Well, you're gonna have
another
to
one.
wait then. I got all these to stamp first.
All right, I can drop it off to you.
Would you mind?
Mhm.
So I'll just take that old one because it's got the wrong date. I'm glad I brought two up.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. We'll change the date and I'll walk it down to you after bit.
Yep, and then I just need you to
Can I
sign.
just keep this?
Yep, and then I need both of them back.
Got it.
I'm just having them go back. I wasn't here till, so I can put this in
Oh,
paper.
got you. Yeah.
Elizabeth didn't like me too well.
Right, she was a little fussy on that,
Yeah,
right?
Just trying to get caught up.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Did you guys discuss the Winnebago claim already?
We have a meeting next Monday, so we'll talk to her about it.
Okay. Just concerning.
Yeah,
Always good.
it's kind of,
Have
it
many
used to be a lease, then we bought out the lease, and then, I don't, can't remember.
I don't
the
even
last-
think our copier costs that much, so I don't know why one person in the office needed that.
It might be, part of it might be, instead of paying to have things printed,
Well,
we're,
let's hope, because she pays a lot in that too.
and my guess is a lot of it can come out of the tourism dollars coming from over there.
And it was,
There's a-
$5,989.75.
What?
I think there's a new binder over there. You know, a binder that binds 4 pages together.
Oh, I see, got you, I'm sorry. I wasn't following what you meant, but yep.
I don't even know what that involves, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
we only have a stapler.
Yeah, and half the time mine at home doesn't work, my staple.
Yeah,
Or-
we don't use it often.
Reimbursing meals, I don't know if we should have the spicy deluxe sandwich with pepper jack. That sounds just a little over the top.
Well, you know. Yeah, Chelsea and I go tonight to see the records for our class tomorrow. And you know, I look at the supper is what, $24, $26? I don't think I ever have eaten a $26 meal. I'm sure, but, you know, I
Require
wouldn't
the
have
other
counted
stamp.
it.
I don't know, we drove through Arby's the other night for 2 people, it was $26.
I know.
What?
I know. It is so crazy.
It wasn't even that great. I'm always disappointed. You
I
know
know,
how
it's
it
like-
sounds good and then I'm like,
I didn't get it, dang it.
I was so mad the other day when I drove through McDonald's. I hate McDonald's. My wife wanted to go and order the chicken deluxe. I don't like their burgers. And it came just a chicken. I got no deluxe. We're
It's like, that's what you
10
wanted.
miles down the road on the interstate when I figured it out.
Ugh.
You always get screwed at the drive-through. Joe Pesci said it. It was the movie with Axel Foley in it.
you know where we had a great meal yesterday, lunch, is at Sevens on Main Street in Clear Lake.
Yes.
They have the best menu, fun things. They have a hamburger, a burger that has fried green beans.
Yeah, a friend and I, we go there every once in a
What
while.
restaurant's that?
Sevens on Main Street. Sevens,
Oh,
Connected
not
to
7
Rocky's,
stars,
that
but
bar.
Sevens.
no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, they have
it's
great
just-
food.
You walk through between them, don't you?
I
Yeah.
think in the back, it looks like people are walking in and out.
Yeah, we went there one Monday, I think, and it was burger night or
It's just
something.
such a nice, different menu. One gal had the chicken with mango chutney. You don't like the mango thing, so good.
Yeah, I haven't had a bad meal there.
And honestly, it was less than driving through McDonald's.
Did we approve the county claims?
No,
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I mean, Carla didn't have it.
Oh,
I did.
county
I did.
claims is
Yeah.
Derby.
I moved it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and payroll is what we're waiting for, sorry,
Payroll,
my bad.
yeah, yeah.
My bad.
I just, it seemed like we did a county claim approval, but
Because I started the process and we had a discussion and I finished it.
yeah, that's it. And I just couldn't follow along.
It's hard.
So I did it the 20th. yeah.
Long
So I
agenda,
forgot.
but we
So you're more
worked
than
through
welcome
it.
to do the last one,
Yeah.
if you
Oh,
so choose.
boy, that's nice you to let me do it. Consider for approval payroll claims. Then I will make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I guess I'll second it.
Motion by Gensel, seconded by Derby to approve payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.
If it
Aye.
weren't for the fact that it included you would have.
Let the records reflect it was a hesitant second.
Yeah, there you go. I think we already had one of those earlier in the meeting.
My nephew over in Northwood sent a Snapchat of I knew you'd like this one. He had a slab of beaver that he was barbecuing.
Oh, really?
It was disgusting.
No, thank
Oh,
you.
really?
In the prior to the barbecue stage.
Nope, nope,
Do
nope.
you want your journal?